Alright guys, so this is my first actual video, so really hoping my computer doesn't crash, but today I figured that I would break down the first beat that I actually have on the channel, which is just called beat number 1, obviously. It's like a funk inspired beat, if you know what that is. Kind of like heavy hitting drums mixed with jazz. So anyways, here's the original sample without any effects or anything on it. Pretty traditional jazz sample, I think. Anyways, so that's what that is. So what I did first is I pitched it up, so that's 2 semitones. I just pitched it up 2 semitones, and then it sounded like this. Alright, so you get the idea for that. So then I had a couple of effects that I put on that. So first one is a stereo enhancer effect. This kind of just makes it more like a full stereo sound. So here's what it sounds like with that on. Alright, and then after that, there was a reverb that I put on there. This is LMMS, by the way, so this is just the basic stock LMMS reverb plugin. Yeah, that's where most of the main sound for that part comes from. Then there's a little EQ that I put on there. You might not be able to notice a difference. Just kind of cuts out a little bit of that low end, but still tries to leave the reverb drum. Alright, so moving on after that, we've just got a basic snare that came in the funk pat that I got all this stuff from. And as you can see, no effects on that. Then there's another snare. So usually in funk you layer snares. That's a very common thing. So this one just has an EQ. And which basically cut out a ton of the low end, as you can see. Only leaving a frequency at 4 Hertz. And then there's the reverb. So that's kind of the reverby snare that you can hear in there. Then there's this one, another snare that's just a layer. No effects there. Basic funk snare, number 1. No effects on this one. That's the first snare that comes in. Then there's the hat pattern. So this is the hat pattern. It's basically, besides this little part over here, just split up into 16ths, and you kind of just go through and you add varying velocities to the hat hits. So this is what that sounds like. So you can kind of hear that it's not just hitting the exact with the exact same strength every time, and that's just kind of what the velocity did. As for that, there's just a little bit of reverb on it. Once you turn that reverb on, you get this sound. Yeah, okay, and that's that. Then there's a crash. This is what it originally sounds like. Obviously, we just put a bunch of reverb on there. There's an EQ first. That took out a bunch of the low end, kind of made it just a very high sounding thing. So then the reverb, because we had the wet amount in there, just kind of added that middle section back. So this is what it sounds like with the middle section back in it with the reverb on it. Alright, moving on. After that, we've got the kick. This just came in the pack. Pretty basic, just kind of a distorted, hard-hitting kick. As for the effects, there aren't any. I didn't actually put any effects on that. Then there's the 808, which sounds very plain. It doesn't sound like it does in the final alone, if you don't have any effects on it. So it sounds like that. Then there are other things, like the wave shaper effect. You can see that I really just messed it up. There was no logic to what I did there, but you can turn that on. You got that. Then there's an EQ, which cut out some of those high ends, you know, but still kind of left a little bit of that fuzz natural sounding tone of it. And that's all that I had there. Then I had this little effect going into like all the drops. It's just a little cashier noise. Yeah, I have that with some reverb on it. Then we have this. This is just another effect. It's the Sonic, the coin noise from Sonic. So, and then you put on the effects, and when it has the effects, it sounds just like this. It's kind of a slight difference, but it's still there. Alright, so after that, we've got this one. Just kind of an interesting noise for the drop. And there's no effects on it. Yeah. Alright, then we've got this one. It's just like a water being poured. Then I got two reverbs, plate reverb and the basic reverb. See, that just kind of goes right there. So it sounds like this. You can hear it just kind of in the background, helping the transition out. And then after a while, it starts to kind of slow down for a beat switch if you stick around that long. And what I did for that is I just took the tempo and I slowly decreased it with automation track. Yeah, that's what it's called. I need that. Anyways, so we just keep the same hi-hats going. The Sodier snare is still going. Probably slaughtered that. But anyways, the sample comes back, but it has more processing on it. I think I forgot to take off the effects on that. No? Okay. Well, anyways, this is what it sounds like after it got pitched down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semitones. It sounds like that. And all of this, I have just some pretty basic effects. There's a stereo enhancer effect. Makes it sound like that. Some reverb. Makes it sound like that. EQ. Makes it sound like that. Some reverb. Makes it sound like that. EQ. Makes it sound like that. You get the idea. It just keeps adding this stuff on. The low pass cut out a bunch. The pulsator makes it go from like left to right, you know, in your ears. The chorus just kind of, I don't know, gives it a little bit of shimmer. More stereo enhancer effects. And that's all there is to it. Alright, so after that, we've got all that. There's a new kick that comes in after the beat drop. I don't use the same kick after that. So I might be wrong, but I think I got that in a Wu-Tang kit, something like that. Then there's another snare that I have. Definitely from the Wu-Tang kit, that one. The 808 is actually less processed in this section, so it's kind of a weird, unorthodox pattern, but it works. So anyways, the effects that I got on here are pretty simple. Just a little EQ. Cuts out some of the high ends, but it leaves like this section right here, which is usually a section that I don't like, but it just worked in this one. Then a stereo enhancer effect. I really like the stereo enhancer effect. I use it a lot. After that, it's pretty simple. Just some crashes with a lot of reverb. So, EQ, put it on. Sounds like that. Reverb, put it on. Reverb, put it on. There's a lot of reverb here. There. It's just that. It's just a bunch of reverb. I just kept putting on more and more reverb, but it's not as difficult as it sounds. I don't know what I got that from. It might have been the PHONK kit, but either way, it's a chant. I put some reverb on it, a pulsator on it. I believe that was like a fast pulsator, so it goes from left to right really fast. You hear that? Kind of switching between them. Then there's some more reverb. And yeah, overall, I hope you liked the video, and I'll just play a small snippet of it for you. Oh yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, please do that. It would be very helpful. Anyways, here you go. Here's a little snippet of it. Okay, like the video, subscribe, and say which beat you would want me to break down next in the comments. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.